electrical tape and is plugging the hole.
Well, good morning, y'all. As you can see, we have completely pulled out the old hose.
We're going to redo the way this goes together to make more room in the sink. This is what the new system is going to look like.
We're just going to put hoses between them.
Correct, just like that. And that will open up a lot of room in here.
Back once we get it done. And with that, we've got the new system in. This is a through hole that we are currently in the process of replacing. If you look over there, you can see some thread damage, but also we are putting one in that has a flapper valve on it. Dad is chiseling at the outside of it because it is not wanting to move. This is what we're doing. Trying to cut the glue.
Yep, trying to free up the caulk so that we can pound this out. Okay.
Now let's try pounding it.
Yep, now let's try pounding it.
It's spinning. Now we can tap it out. Another more, a little more. There we go. Now let's get the other through hole.
Yep, she's gonna fit.
See the condition that was in.
Well, oh, right there.
Yeah, there's a lot of old damage that was getting in the way of getting it off.
Right there.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can see where I gripped it, but that was afterwards. That's over tightened.
Yeah.
You don't want it to get higher or thicker than the hull itself. Otherwise, it'll just be on the threads and then you'll never get it apart.
Morning, y'all. Today we're starting off with just some cleanup, so not too much happening. I think we decided we wanted to cut it off at some point where it was like an inch or two on the through hole.
Yeah, we wanted to plug it up here, plug it off up here. Okay, let's do that.
I know, but we might want to replace the hose because the hose might be a piece of shit.
Oh, that's what you mean by replace. Yeah, I got it. We can replace that. So I got it off of the through hole right there. When you look at it, I don't like all these wear marks. It's gnarled up pretty badly down here somewhere. We'll probably have to get a new thing to put on there instead. Now with that cut, that is going outside and to the trash. And this is going in there. See, look, that's why I don't trust old hose like this.
Agreed. We're done.
Anyway, now we gotta find new inch hose.
1 inch hose. I don't think we have any 1 inch.
Ooh, now time to push it on the rest of the way.
It's too big for that one. Okay, so let's get that other pipe that we were going to throw away, the brown pipe, and we're going to heat it. What we're doing is we're replacing the black water hose that goes to the pump out. And the reason we're doing it is because the old hose was on top of the shelf down there. And it was drilled through in a really weird place. It was put in a dumb way. So we're going to put it underneath the shelf where it should be. And then we had to run it on top of the hot water heater, way back in there. We had to run it beside the old one because we weren't sure we could get it through. And now we are tightening it down right there. We had to use heat to bend it to get it around the corners and stuff. And now we're ready to take out the old one. You can see it sitting there next to us. We also got a higher quality hose that doesn't have smells allowed. It's not just your regular flex PVC. It's a more expensive Dometic flex PVC with a deodorizer of some kind in it that doesn't allow smells to permeate. And the reason that we wanted that is because the hose actually runs through a food locker. So we wanted to replace it with the highest quality hose possible. They ran it through the floor. I don't know if you can see that. They actually cut a hole in the floor of the cabinet, and there was no reason to do that. After some melting and a lot of tugging, we have it out.
It was quite explosive of a tug out. It just...
Yeah, once it released, it came released all at once. But this was the angle it was in there. So it was sitting on the wood there.
Yeah, that was a bad idea.
Okay.
Okay, so that one, I would assume it's just hose clamps and pull down, right?
Well, you might have to heave it.
Sure. Well, we got it out of the hole. Now you just got to get it up through the pit and into that storage locker. There we go. And we're ready to cut it again.
Not quite. Okay, now let's heat it up so it gets a nice, good seal.
Now we just have to get some hose clamps tightened up.
Yep.
Well, we got the hose clamps hooked up on the top. Everything's looking fine until, well, why don't you talk about what you just saw?
Well, nothing is glued together. They siliconed it together.
Anyway, we've got a problem to deal with, but it's by far not the worst problem. We've dealt with worse.
The problem is that this is not even sealed together.
There's been crap getting in there over time because it's not sealed.
Yep, that means this probably isn't sealed either.
Well, it is now 5 odd o'clock-ish. We've got the pit put back together. We put in a new pump out hose. It has been a long day. It has been a productive day, and we need to get some rest and pick up tomorrow. Well, good morning, everybody. My project for the day is servicing this through hole here. We're debating on moving the water intake for the engine from the quarter turn valve to the through hole. So that through hole that I was working on earlier, it's now back together. Lock bolt is on, ring is on, tightened down. I can still move it, but there's a final test to be done. I used stuff called lapping compound. Works great, but it becomes a pain to clean up.
Look at that.
There's electrical tape.
Electrical tape. And it's plugging the hole. Electrical tape is plugging the hole. What? Who does this? You don't put electrical tape because you can't get the right size hose. The heck? Oh, this is stupid. And it was crammed up inside the hole. It's a razor. The other question is, why would you use a car radiator hose?
Well, it has been a long day. We've got plans for what we're going to do tomorrow. We've checked out some things. We've taken off the strainer for the raw water, but we're going to hook that back up tomorrow. But we're not going to do that yet. That's just long-term, mid-term plans. And so we will see you tomorrow. So, good morning, everybody. It's been an eventful morning. This is what we did today. We just hooked it up to the old through hole and ran proper exhaust hose through it. What we had there before was not right. Regardless, it's all back together. We'll be testing whether it leaks or not later.
So our last and final through hole, we exercised it and it moves. But just to give you an idea of where it is. So let's talk about this for a second. This big wheel over here, it drives the actual centerboard itself. The little wheel is connected to a sensing setup over here. This car moves up and down the screw and it turns on and off because of this switch right here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to reposition this car so that it's right at the correct position for the full up position. Is it moving? Look at that. Okay, full up right now, and that is the full up position.
Well, with that, we've got a bunch of work to do, but
Yep, we're gonna put everything away.
But to everybody else, like, subscribe, and have a wonderful rest of your day.
Morning, everybody. We are adding a remote microphone to the ICOM, so we have to run a wire from the binnacle all the way back here.
We started today doing a little bit of cleanup, but
we got most things cleaned up. I think we're going to go ahead and use all 20 feet. What's going to happen is we're going to find out that we needed 23 feet. And to do that, we have to do 40 feet. This goes all the way at the binnacle.
okay.
So you're correct. If we want to do this, we have to start at the binnacle. We have to get it all the way back here. And I'm not sure that we can get this through the hole, so I want to make sure that we can get it through the hole first.
Well, we realized we have the wrong cable for our accessory, actually.
So it won't work in the back of the M605.
Not yet, at least. We just have to get the right cable accessory to go with it. The command mic we have is compatible with our ICOM, but we don't have the right cable with us to attach the two together. So we will get to that as soon as we get the cable in. Well, in there was a zinc. That white powder on there is what's left of the zinc.
So we're going to replace the zinc. And they're a metric. That's
No.
the bow thruster after we cleaned it off. We just used a little brass wire brush to clean it off. There was nothing much left of the other zinc except white dust and this little ring. We pulled the ring off and it just crumbled in our hands. So this one just goes back on behind the propeller and tightens down. Well, looks like we got one side going in. Let's see the other side fits. These things, I guess suffice it to say, we don't have a huge galvanic problem because the one that was on there lasted at least 4 years. The hex screws on these Vetus are metric. See this little slot right there? This pin right here
Goes into the propeller to keep it from spinning.
Yep. Call this channel Fixing Other People's Problems.